Maybe today something bad happened to you. You broke up with your partner, you failed your test, you felt lonely or sad, you had some kind of failure, or maybe something good happened to you. You had a great time, you had some kind of great success, or you had some loving time with people, you did something fun, you felt great about it. Either way, remember that none of these will last. Both the good and the bad will pass because nothing is permanent. Whatever you're going through, it will pass. Including you. You will also pass, you will also die. Everything changes, there's nothing permanent in this world. And you will also die someday. And we wouldn't want it any other way. I think that it's very important to remember the fact that you're going to die, and especially nowadays because we can get so easily lost in everyday tasks and duties and responsibilities and all this bullshit media and news that we forget the fact that we're not here forever, that we're going to die. And we get lost in all these little details and not take a step back and look at the big picture. That wow, we're going to die and that we're alive. How crazy all of that is. This is why I think it's so important to remember the fact that you're going to die. And let it make you humble. Let it make you appreciate every single day because tomorrow is never guaranteed. I mean, tomorrow never comes. But it's also never guaranteed that you'll wake up. It's not even guaranteed that I'll make it till the end of this recording. Like I might have just a random heart attack and you'll never see this video. That's what I'm talking about. Every day is a gift, every day is a present. And remembering the fact that we're going to die just gets us out of our head and makes us look at it from a bigger picture, from a different perspective. Really makes us consider how we spend our time. And isn't this interesting though? Thinking about that, like you might have this idea that it's scary or it's no, we don't. Let's talk about something else. Like this might be the moment where you say, okay, let's talk about something else now. But isn't it interesting that thinking about death, your own mortality, has a positive effect on your life? And you might have this experience when someone close to you or someone that you know gets cancer and they found out that they got like a year to live or a couple of months, a month to live. And that also like shakes you up, thinking like, what would I do if I had a month left to live? How would I live my life? What kind of stuff would I cut out? Well, guess what? You do have cancer. You are going to die. Just don't know when. That's the only difference. But you do have a terminal illness. And that is life. You see, who said this? Young or I don't know. But he said that life is bad for you. Of course he was joking, but that's what he said. Life is bad for you and it ends with that. You know, it lingers on forever and ultimately you will die. You have this terminal illness and there's nothing that you can do about it. The only thing is that you never know when it's going to end. It might be 20, 50 years from now, a month from now, today, tomorrow, you never know. That's why it's so important to appreciate every single moment and be grateful. I mean, to be honest, like every one of my videos comes back to being grateful. That's it. That's the main lesson I teach here on this channel. Just be grateful. Remember that you'll die. So what I recommend for you is to set up some kind of reminder for yourself to remember that you're going to die. Let me show you, for example, what I did. I set up this like, what is this? A paper on the wall. That's it, I mean, basically. Look at this. There's just this paper on the wall that says Memento Mori. That basically means that you're going to die. Do something simple like this. You can also do something like, I'm actually thinking about doing this also. Like setting up a reminder, like an alarm for every day that just says you're going to die. I might actually also do that. Setting up an alarm for every single day. It just says you're going to die. And you can also change your phone background to something like a flower or an hourglass, something that reminds you of that. For example, my phone background, it just says breathe. That's it, that's my phone background. It just says breathe. To remember to take deep. Actually, this is a reminder for you Take a deep breath right now with me. Also remember this. Take some deep breaths throughout your day. But you see, that is a completely natural process. It's like a leaf falling off a tree. It's a natural process. There's nothing to worry about it. I mean, you'll just drop that and that's it. And it's also, it's a completely necessary thing. Because you can't have life without death, or death without life. Just in the same way, you can't have up without down, buying without selling. You can't have an inside without an outside. And just in the same way, you can't have life without death, consciousness without unconsciousness. You see, these things are completely inseparable. They do not exist without each other. They do not exist by themselves. There is no such thing as up, and that's it. Without down, just up. You can't have that. You don't know what's up if you don't know what's down. You don't know what's you can't have buying without someone selling you something. And the whole universe is an interconnected system of these opposites. Everything is so interconnected with everything else that you can't just take one thing apart and say that, yep, this is different. That's like saying that's like trying to separate inside from outside and just keep the one. But you see, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to only keep one of them and get rid of the other one. It's like you can't have black without white or white without black. But we're playing the game of white must win, and we must do anything that we can so that black will not happen. We do this with pleasure and pain, life and death. I mean, pleasure and pain, life and death. We want just pleasure, the pursuit of pleasure, and to get rid of suffering entirely. But you can't do that, you see. You know pleasure only by contrast with pain. And you know life, and you're conscious, only by contrast of being unconscious and by death. You can't have a figure without a background. And we can also say that these things arise mutually. It's not like one of them comes first and then the other one. It's not like there's up and then comes down. No, they arise at the same time because it's almost like they are the same thing now. Because you can't have them separately. And it's almost like they are the same. They are one thing. It's like two ends of the sticks. Yeah, they are different, but it's still the same stick. And you see, the whole universe is a great system of these highly interconnected things. And we're a part of it. We're not separate from it. You see, we're just as a part of it as a tree or as a star or as anything else is a part of the universe. But we have this idea that we're something separate and that we're confronting this alien world and that we came onto this world. Where in reality we came out of it. Just as a leaf comes out of a tree or as a tree apples. The universe humans, and that's it. It's like we're like growing out from the universe. It's not like we just was popped in here out of nowhere and we're here on probation. No, we came out of this world just as a apple comes out of a tree. We are just as deeply interconnected with everything else as are flowers with bees, because you can't have bees without flowers, or flowers without bees, or the bugs that do the same job. We are just as interconnected with everything else. So you see, in reality, we are the universe, aware of itself. Because we're not different from it. And what we're aware of is really, in reality, ourselves. But we have to locate ourselves at a deeper level. Mostly, we locate ourselves just this body, and that's it. But you see, how do you grow your brain? How do you structure your bones? And how do you digest your food? How do you make a decision? How are you conscious? You don't know these, but still you do them. And if it's true that you are breathing, that you are walking, that you are growing your hair, then it's also true that you are shining the stars. You are warming up the galaxies. But you don't know how you do them. Just in the same way, you don't know how you manage to be conscious. You don't know how you digest your food. I mean, I still don't get this idea quite, but such an interesting thing. So in reality, you are the universe aware of itself. You are an expression of this universe. An expression, like not like a part of it, because a part means that you're separate from it. Like it's like been put together, like the whole universe has been put together by parts like a machine. And someone knows how it's put together, like an engineer knows how his machine is put together, but no, the universe is not like that. It grows from inside. It's yes, you see, yes, your head is separate from your toes, but still they are connected with each other. They seem separate, but yet they are part of the same organism. And in the same way, we seem separate, but yet we're still part of the same universe, the same big organism. It's like, yes, we're unique, but we're just as unique as the different fingers on your hand. But yet they are connected to the same hand. And if you try to cut them off and separate it, the finger will die. So really, you are the universe manifesting itself and being aware of itself as the role of you, as the role of Daniel. And it's looking at itself from the perspective of me, from the perspective of you, from the perspective of a bird. Now we kind of got off a little track there, but the main idea is that you can't have life without death. This is why I don't think that, one of the reasons I don't think that after we die, there will be just nothing forever. That, people have this idea that going to sleep and never waking up, just being blind and deaf and in darkness forever and ever and ever, but still conscious somehow. And I think it's completely logically meaningless, because we only know nothing in contrast with something. And even if that was the case, that's nothing to be afraid of. Are you afraid of nothingness? Who is going to be afraid of nothingness? You won't exist. You see, and it's not like you will be just aware of nothingness. You see, when you go to sleep, like that's like the closest that we can get to that experience, the interval between going to sleep and waking up. But when that happens, it's not like you're aware of just complete nothingness. No, it's like you have never even existed. But you see, there's no reason to be scared of it, because there will be no one to be scared of it. You see, there's nothing and nothing to be afraid of. So remember that you and everyone else is going to die. Of course, the fear of death is natural. Not saying that you shouldn't fear death. It's completely natural, but there's also this irrational fear of death, like being too scared of it. Oh, what will happen? I mean, you'll just drop dead and that's it. That's what will happen. It's not that big of a deal. What's really making us so scared of death is that we're carrying this huge baggage with us. We're carrying our past with us, and we think that once we die, all of our friends will be gone, all our memories, we will be gone. But if we truly lived in this present moment, I mean, it would be just like you just dropped dead and that's it. But I think I'm going to make a whole new video, another video on the idea of death and going to sleep and never waking up, because that's just such a fascinating idea. So look out for that. I'm going to make another video about that, with probably a title like this, going to sleep and never waking up, something like that. I will see, but it's crazy stuff. I heard some very interesting ideas about that, and that's why I wanted to make another video, because I just kind of slapped this video together, and I wanted to do more research for that video, do some more reading for that video, because I heard some very interesting ideas that we don't really die because we were never really born. It's just that we forgot who we truly are. You see, this comes from the idea that our ego, our personality, our image of ourselves, our thoughts about ourselves is an illusion. It's not us, because it doesn't contain how we circulate our blood, how we work our nervous systems. None of that. It's just a caricature, or however you spell that, of ourselves. It's just in the same way as a picture of you is not you, or a picture of anything is not it. And you just can't put it into words and thoughts and images. And that you are something greater than that. Not just those thoughts and that images. And you're not separate from everything else. You're not separate from your environment. But you're this organism environment. You are an organism in this environment. And you're inseparable from it. Just in the same way as inside is inseparable from outside. You are inseparable from your environment. And it is inseparable from you, because from the perspective of something else, you are his environment. It's just in the same way that you are part of the external world. Because you are part of my external world, and I am part of your external world. Interesting stuff. I'll talk about it in the next video about that. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for being here. If you have any questions, if you have any questions, if you want any advice, I do free one-on-one calls. You can send an email to me and we'll make a video call and you can ask me anything that you want. The email is in the description, so you can reach out to me if you want to. Have a great day. Thank you for watching. All the love towards you. Goodbye.